Okay, we just passed the 6-month anniversary of the day that I picked up this Grand Seiko spring drive at Little Treasury Jewelers. And I've talked about the backstory on this before. I had worn an SBDC-007, the Shogun, which is a titanium Seiko that you can buy for around $800. By the way, I didn't really clean this up. I just took it right off my wrist and I'm shooting these because this is a real world, everyday use watch. So I think it's best to show the watch just as it is and just how it wears in and what it looks like, because everybody doesn't clean up and detail their watch every day, especially a daily use watch. So that's what you're seeing right here is what this watch looks like after 6 months of daily use without a detailing. All I did was kind of wipe it off with a microfiber cloth a little bit. I didn't clean, scrub it, any of that stuff. So there you go. But anyway, back to the story. So I wore the SBDC-007 for 2 years, and I really enjoyed that watch. You can see the scratches there on the clasp because that is stainless steel. The rest of the watch is titanium, and the titanium is held up much better than the stainless steel because it is tough stuff. And did I tell you that I daily wear this watch and I do not baby it? Now I'm going to roll in some clips that I've taken over the months while I've had the watch. Just a little trip down memory lane the last 6 months. So anyway, getting back to the story, I wore that SBDC-07 for 2 years, and I really loved the watch. Comfortable on wrist, had really all the benefits of this GS diver, this titanium GS diver that is the subject of this video, but not the accuracy. And also the detailing and the quality is taken to a whole new level on this Grand Seiko diver. So it took a watch that was fantastic and just took it to that next level with the GS diver. And I could not be happier after 6 months of use. And look at that second hand. Look at that silky smooth second hand. This watch just disappears on the wrist. It's super, super comfortable. And literally, I forget sometimes that it's on my wrist. That's how comfortable this watch is. And people say, well, that doesn't really matter, you know. Hey, it's a wristwatch. You buy it to put it on your wrist. I think comfort on wrist is very important. And the way it looks on wrist and the shape of it. See those lugs, how they curve around and how they taper? It makes this 44 millimeter watch wear more like a 40 millimeter watch. And I think there's no comparison in the looks to the bulbous lugs that the maxi case on the sub has. I think this is much more elegant looking, and of course it's much more comfortable because of the titanium, because of the weight, and titanium is better on your skin, feels better on the skin. Just a whole lot of advantages. And look at that loom shot. I mean, can you imagine anything any better than that? I don't know. Hard to do. So after 6 months, I couldn't be happier with my decision to buy this watch. I learned about them about 5 years ago when Arizona Fine Time did a video. And then I finally got to see one 6 months ago. And when I saw it in person, I could not leave Little Treasury Jewelers without it. Steve was great to deal with and a gentleman, and I highly recommend him. So here I'm going to roll in another video that I produced previously. Hey, click that subscribe and click the bell. Let me start out by saying I'm not a watch collector. I'm a watch user. I use my watches as tools, just like my camera equipment, my audio equipment, my computers. I consider them all tools to do a job. And since I cover a lot of events, many times things are time sensitive. So I want a watch to be accurate. For many, many years, more than 35 years, I've worn Rolex watches. I've had many different models, and I've enjoyed them over the years. They've done a great job for me. But I'll tell you what, the Grand Seiko brings things to a whole new level, especially this particular diver's watch, which is a 200-meter diver's watch, and it is just a work of art. Now, you're seeing it after I've worn it for a little over 3 weeks, and it's dusty and it's got fingerprints on it, and I didn't want to clean it up and show it to you the way it would look if it was absolutely spotless in a jeweler's cabinet, because again, I buy these watches to use and to wear, and I'm not going to clean it 3 times a day so that there's no smudges or fingerprints or anything on it. So I'm showing it to you exactly the way it looks after 3 weeks of daily use and heavy use. I don't baby any of my watches. And what's really cool about this watch is the spring drive mechanism in it. It's a mechanical movement, but it is regulated by a quartz oscillator. So it has the benefits of a mechanical movement, i.e. no battery in it to replace every couple of years, so you don't have to open up the case and expose it and ruin the gaskets and so on. No battery to replace, yet it has superb accuracy. This thing, after 3 weeks, it's gained about a half a second. It is amazing. And it's amazing how well made this watch is and how comfortable it is on wrist. Because of the titanium, it's lighter weight, and the thermal properties of it make it more comfortable, especially in the hot weather. So it's just an amazing all-around watch, and I just am over the moon with what Grand Seiko are doing these days, because they've got a lot of beautiful timepieces out there. Check them out and stay tuned for some further updates.